Probably the best way to describe the changing faith-forming system or ecosystem is what it used to be and what it is today. That prior generations, I'll go back 2 or 3 generations, faith really grew up at home. And grandparents, ethnic traditions, small tight-knit neighborhoods, intertwined generations, faith got transmitted. Practices, language, prayer, devotions, and the congregation supported that. So you had this system where, broadly speaking, the society or culture supported the Christian way of life. Congregations provided the events and the experiences, but the home provided the 24/7 faith formation activities. Now, they would have never called it that, but what they really were doing was, day by day, people grew into what it meant to be a Christian. They lived it. It was a praxis or experiential way. Well, over the last couple of generations, that system has broken down. It came out at a particular historical time. It was really effective. But as the world changed, as families changed, society changed, that system broke down. And so now we find ourselves really 20, 30, 40 years after that, saying, how do we build a process? How do we build the important context in which faith is formed? And congregations can't do it alone. I think everybody working in a congregation knows, no matter how many programs they do and how hard they work, how good worship is, there's just not enough time to really pass on a whole way of life. So we need families and intergenerational community, and we need a variety of ways in which people grow in faith. And so when I talk about a faith-forming ecosystem, I talk about how we bring into partnership the faith community, which is intergenerational, the home, family across the generations, how we bring together life cycle faith formations, so children, youth, adults, all growing in faith, and how we bring together an outreach to people who are no longer actively engaged in our communities, but we want to reach out to them with the good news. We want to invite them into relationship with Christ. How do we do that so we can build up strong faith communities? So this faith-forming ecosystem are these parts all intertwined. It's like 4 puzzle pieces coming together to form a whole puzzle. Right now, they're separate, and we have to bring them together. So my work, at least the last couple of years, and will be for the next several years, is to really see how we can make faith formation a natural process again, the way it was several generations back, and make faith and life just woven together so that following Jesus, living our lives, living our faith are just what comes naturally. We've got a lot of work cut out for us because the world has changed so dramatically. But that's a faith-forming ecosystem. And when it works, faith is formed, people grow in faith and discipleship for a lifetime. When it doesn't work, we see a lot of the things we're seeing today in terms of we can't keep people attached, connected, faith isn't being shared. We have a lot of people who have moved away from our faith communities because we haven't really engaged them. So that's hard. That's what we're trying to do.